Sometimes big buildings are big investments, and not everyone wants to follow through with a commitment. From hotels on the Las Vegas Strip to nuclear power plants in Eastern Europe, here are 15 abandoned construction projects.
Hey guys, this is your host, American Eye. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy that video.
Number 15. The Bishop Castle. This unfinished construction project is found in central Colorado and has become a roadside attraction in the state. It was meant to be a family cottage at first, near the town of Pueblo, but the family wanted to give it a more haunted medieval look by adding more stone to the exterior. They never completely finished the project though. Much of the design was quite intricate, with many people described it as a house from a fantasy land. The house was named after the only person who worked on it, Jim Bishop. Number 14. The Unity Tower. Located in Krakow, Poland, it's pretty evident that this tower was abandoned in mid-construction. It was built in the 1980s, but that stopped during political unrest in Poland, and it got its nickname as the Skeletor. It's actually the second tallest building in the city of Krakow. Many people are somewhat concerned with demolishing it. There's been quite a few legal problems when investors try to get a piece of the action, and has discouraged many people with the continued construction. It appears, as for now, it's abandoned. Number 13. Abandoned China Disneyland. Outside of Beijing, China, lies an abandoned theme park called Wonderland. This idea was proposed by a Thailand-based property development company that wanted to build the largest amusement park in Asia. Construction stopped in 1998, and then when they tried to finish it in 2008, they ran into some financial problems. If it were ever actually completed, it would have been one of Asia's largest theme parks and rivaled those in the US. China is known for some knockoff theme parks which seem quite similar to those in the US. However, most of the time, they're slightly different to avoid copyright laws. Although no one is going to pay admission to get into this place anymore, some urban explorers have found a way to get in. What's even stranger about this place is that there are still people actually regulating the parking here, so they can still get some money from the parking tolls. In this photo, you see the frame of the Disneyland-like castle and the would-be centerpiece for this park. The tower is surrounded by cornfields, and citizens have started using the land for farming. Finally, in 2003, the castle was scrapped for parts. Number 12. Igloo Hotel, Alaska. What was supposed to be a winter wonderland resort that would have been featured in the Disneyland movie Frozen, it actually turned out to be a pretty creepy abandoned resort. Named Igloo City, the hotel took a shape of a large igloo like you can see in this photo. It wasn't too long before they noticed that the building actually violated standard building regulations and it was too large to be demolished. So instead, it's just lived on for decades in the freezing Alaskan temperatures. The snow can reach up to 5 feet deep in some places, as you can tell in this photo of the road closed sign. Creators were hoping for this to be a thriving new city in Alaska with plenty of people. Possibly due to the failure, wildlife is able to now prosper with a diverse ecosystem and letting them be the only guests in the area. Number 11. The Rio Young Hotel. The Rio Young Hotel is a pyramid-shaped 105-story skyscraper in North Korea's capital, somewhat similar looking to the skyscraper in San Francisco. It's also known to be Building 105 because of the number of stories it has. The construction began in 1987, but as North Korea entered somewhat of an economical crisis, the project was halted. Openings were continually canceled. The building remains unopened to the public or any tourist. In a country that struggles to maintain electricity through an entire day and feed their citizens properly, this seems like a massive waste of money. In this photo, you can see the hotel. Although it does appear as an interesting design, what purpose could it possibly serve where the tourism industry is virtually non-existent? It's remained off-limits to tourists and shrouded in secrecy. Number 10. Skyview. The Skyview was set up to be another big Ferris wheel that overlooked the Strip in Las Vegas until the project seemingly went abandoned. 2 large pillars are still visible and were erected standing 200 feet tall. The site also announced that they were constructing a 38-acre property here. It was going to break some records too, including the world's largest LED advertising screen in the world. No one knows for sure if it'll ever be completed or if they're just taking a really long time. Many would feel as though it's abandoned due to the plot of land displaying a for sale sign. The reason why it would abandon seems to be somewhat of a mystery though. Number 9. Crimean Atomic Energy Station. This unfinished construction project remains abandoned in Russia, and it was set up to be one of the bigger power plants in the Ukraine at the time. After Pripyat appeared to be a success until the meltdown, the Soviets thought they could build a similar one on the Crimean Peninsula. A town known as Shishkalkin was built to house the workers who were building the project. However, after the Chernobyl power plant disaster, many scientists began to doubt the power plant's design and started to double-think its construction. Today, the city and the site are completely abandoned. It's better to not take the risk with the same design that contaminated a large part of the country. Other power plants, such as this one, have been abandoned in association with the one in Chernobyl. Number 8. The Tesla Tower. A big energy source would mean big oil companies go out of business and less reliance on the government. Some claim this type of energy was found during the Roswell crash, and while others believe that the scientist Nikola Tesla had designed it as well. The no-cost, pollution-free energy that allows us to utilize Earth's natural movement was suppressed in the early 1900s by various groups who believed their jobs were on the line. J.P. Morgan cut funding on Tesla's tower in New York when he found out that it might rival with its control over fossil fuels. Although you still can't see it today, the metal was scrapped in 1917 in order to pay off the debt. Number 7. The Fountainbleu Hotel and Casino. This infamously doomed project began in 2007 on the Las Vegas Strip and was said to be the city's tallest complete building with 68 floors. The site it was built on was historically a pretty popular area. However, when the housing crisis hit Las Vegas in 2008, further development led to bankruptcy with the owner in 2009. An offer was made with Carl Ichan, and eventually he auctioned off the furnishing of the building, and much of it was scrapped by other casinos basically. While much of the construction is already done, various potential investors have sought to finish the job, but not without a few extra $1 billion. Some believe the hotel will be ready to open in 2020, but who knows? Number 6. Abbey of Santa Sima Trinita. This religious complex found in southern Italy contains various buildings and was once inhabited by monks in the late 11th century. However, they never really completed the old church here. You can see much of the foundation is set, but there's no roof, which means it's probably the hardest part of the construction. Construction on this building began around 1075 AD, but the date for sure, exactly when the monastery's construction began, is unknown. Some believe it was once home to crusaders who fought in the Holy Land and didn't have time to finish it. Number 5. National Monument of Scotland. With an important name such as the National Monument of Scotland, you would assume they would finish this thing, right? Meant to resemble the Parthenon in Greece, it was constructed to pay tribute to Scottish soldiers who fought during the Napoleonic Wars. Overlooking the lowland from the top of Calton Hill, the people below can see this thing. The foundation stone weighed an impressive 6 tons, and a ceremony for it took place in 1826. Finally, the project ran out of funds, and now it's earned nicknames such as Scotland's Disgrace and other shameful names. People still take photos with it nonetheless. Number 4. The Stendal Nuclear Power Plant. This was supposed to be Eastern Germany's largest power plant and in all of Germany. Located near the city of Arnberg, this was deep within Soviet territory at the time of its construction. The site houses 4 reactors total with 2 different cooling towers, and it almost seems like this one will be ready to be put to use. A critical moment in history, however, would lead to its demise. During the reunification of Germany, scientists questioned the Soviet design again, and it's possible that they didn't even know how to operate it. Instead of taking any chances with the design, they decided to just let it sit there, abandoned. Eventually, 2 cooling towers were demolished with explosives. Number 3. Death Valley Castle. What's a huge castle doing in the middle of the desert and impossibly the hottest place on Earth? Scotty's Castle is a 2-story Spanish Mission-style villa located in northern Death Valley. It's also known as Scotty's Castle, and it was built by Albert E. Johnson, who was convinced there was possibly gold in Death Valley, somewhere by prospector Walton Scott. The claim turned out to be false, however, but the two managed to become best friends anyways. The mansion went unfinished due to the stock market crash in 1929, but tours are available for those who are intrigued by this place. Number 2. The Volmirstedt Substation. As you probably noticed, the fall of the Soviet Union caused some construction projects to become abandoned, and we see quite a bit of that in Germany. Both sides of Germany were not able to be synchronized until 1993. Since the power plants needed to work in the same operation modes, the substation project here was abandoned. In the long run, though, they felt as though it was just best to give up on it despite a full completion of the railroad here. And number 1. Moscow Abandoned Construction Projects. Here in this photo, we see the modern skyscrapers that literally look like they're scraping the skies. Although some of these skyscrapers are mainly vacant at the moment, Russia's financial district proves to be at the very least an impressive architectural achievement. There are many construction projects here that seemingly never end. It may take a while before people decide to completely inhabit this area, so much of it is at least semi-abandoned.